In the six, cooking with the Rick.
Thank you so much for clocking in with your girl Lo. Welcome back to my channel. If you do enjoy the video today, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you want to keep updated with the updates and uploads that take place on this channel, please hit the bell below. Thank you in advance. Okay, before I get into the substance of this video, I want to send a shout out to the subscriber who I gained in love pretty much over the weekend. I created a video versus She-Hulk cosplay and the toxicity on TikTok. I think that's a real word. Anyway, I gained a subscriber and I want to thank you so much. Just thank you. You got a kiss from Lo. And let's just get right into what we're delivering today. So on my channel, if you have been here for a bit, you know I'm really trying to modify my channel and I really want to enjoy what I do on YouTube. So I love movies. I love drinks, and I love cosplay. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to re-amplify this movie review playlist on my channel. So here we are. Cos, Flick, and Sip, where I'm going to be doing cosplay, talking about a movie, and sipping on a drink. And today's cosplay of choice is actually a character from one of my favorite films, Joker. So yes. And I'm going to be drinking a mango blueberry smoothie. And we're going to be talking about the 2022 film, Lot Lizards. Let's get into this video. Okay, before I get into the actual movie, I enjoy Black cinema. I enjoy Black creativity. Love it all. But sometimes it can get dicey with certain films because the things that I really wish weren't labeled as you're Black means you act like this. Sometimes these certain movies, they hold that as true. So in order for you to be Black, you must act this way. And if you don't act this way, then, oh, are you really Black? Do you really understand what it is to be Black culture? And these kind of movies just, when I feel like those messages are being communicated, it just bothers me. It bothers me. But between the harsh lighting, the awful angles, the weird pauses, the font of the titles, the budget that was very high, I'll try to find the amount when I'm editing this, and we still got this crap, I'm so confused. So, without further ado, I'm presenting to you the 2022 film. Yup, it's only January. They knew exactly how they're going to start this year. Trash. Lot Lizards. Okay, I also forgot to realize the director of this film is Robert Parker, I believe. And this film has so many characters. Like, it's beyond me, the amount of character it has. So let's just get right into it. So we're introduced to the film. It's very awkward. There's not a lot of, there is music in the beginning, but it's no, there was no music. That's right. No music really. And we got little tiny fonts of names, but barely. I think it showed like maybe one name in the beginning. And we're introduced to a hotel room. And in the hotel room, there's this maid who walks in. We have no backstory on her yet. Like, there's just nothing. Like, we're gonna assume she's a Black maid who's working on Saturday and she's annoyed being here Saturday morning, right? And the first thing she says is, this room smells. So we are led to believe that, okay, maybe there's a dead body in this room. And if you don't know what lot lizards are, let me give you a quick little factual spill for you. So lot lizards are women or men who provide services of pleasure in different truck stops around the country. So if a truck driver puts a lizard on their window, like a sticker of a lizard, that's usually going to communicate to these men and women who provide these services that trucker is willing to pay for a service. So the setting of this place is in Memphis, and this is a story of women who provide these services for men at a truck stop in Memphis, Tennessee. There you go. So yes, so we're introduced to the hotel room. There's this lady who's just saying, ew, this room's disgusting. And we're pretty much led to believe that, okay, maybe it smells because a dead body is in that hotel room, or it just smells because too many people are getting on in there. So I'm like, ew, is this room just not being clean enough from y'all, or people's sexual genital actually smelling this bad? But anyway, so we're introduced. Oh, dang it, this is too big. This is too white. Hold on. But she just starts cleaning, which is fine. But she explains it almost like it's a YouTube tutorial. She's like, okay. Like, as if we don't see what she's doing. It's like, okay, here she comes, making up the bed. And she literally speaks it. She's like, fresh and clean. Let's fold this sheet. Let's spray this room. Smells way better now. Let me get to my work. Oh, my day is done. I am finished for the day. Let me open the blinds. And she's literally just explaining this as she goes. Like, we can't see what's happening. So anyway, that's the first scene we're given. And then we're finally shown the actual main character of this film. So we are introduced to the main lady, I guess you could say, of this lot, Angie, and the man who she is serving, that we are introduced to his name being Big Daddy. Now, one thing, Big Daddy looks like he belongs in the church. He reminds me of those older men who are there every Sunday talking to the pastor for 4 hours after the Sunday's over, and they call everybody young blood or all the girls cupcake. That's what he just gives me like this ick feeling about him. Anyway, Daddy and Angie kind of have like this power play sex. It's weird. It's just different. And he's pretty much letting her know before they have sex, like, I need you to know that you don't need to think. Like, you are not built to think. Like, you need to just say what you need to just do, pretty much do what you're being told. And she's looking at him like, okay, you just give me this check, or you give me this money, and all right, you're really not important, but okay, I hear what you're saying. And she has this darn sucker in her mouth. And it irked me to my core, because it reminded me of like those cotton candy suckers, which I can't stand. But anyway, and this sucker is throughout the whole movie. He's already like 4 beers in somehow. Okay, his poor liver. And Angie's doing her little thing, teasing him and stuff. And then they're having sex, and she's like, oh, like, they're trying, they're doing a little foreplay, and she's like, oh, like, I'm gonna dominate you, like, I'm the one taking control tonight. And obviously he doesn't like that. So then all of a sudden, Big Daddy takes it upon himself to start snatching, and he flips Angie over, and he starts to get aggressive with her and begins to like choke her. And she's like, you need to get off me, like, you're gonna kill me. And this whole time, the angles are very stiff from the camera. Like, you can tell whoever is filming this, they have really shaky hands. So it's like in your face, very like awkward. You can even hear like the sheets rattle. It's too tight. The way that his little friend down there can rise up for attention. So he can only get it that way if he chokes. He knocks him out in the head with a bottle. I mean, I'm not gonna say he didn't deserve it. But then, okay, this is not funny. Okay, I don't want no one to die this way. But she pretty much hits him in the head with a bottle. And then as he's going down, she like suffocates him, but his stomach is on the, like, he's on his stomach. So I'm like, how are you suffocating him that quickly? How is he dead that quickly? It doesn't take like 11 seconds or something to do that for some. It was just too quick. So, she cries for like 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden we hear trap music in the background. She's getting ready to go because she's freaking out because she just realized she murdered somebody. And then she leaves the hotel room, but pretty much is like, oh, you got what you deserve. Now who's the top dog now? And then we are finally introduced to what the name of this movie actually is. I mean, the font ain't really doing it. It's very patchy. It's kind of like, it kind of reminds you of those kind of, it reminds you of when you were rushing to get an assignment done and you really didn't care about how the font looked. It's kind of like when someone thought they knew what they were doing with PowerPoint, but they really didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. The hotel room is such a huge part of the movie. It's annoying. So then we go back to the hotel room after being shown the title of the movie, and now it's another maid, and she pretty much tells this man he's dead. Big Daddy's dead, and she's like, oh, that's what you get for treating the girls that way. I think she spit on him. I don't know what she did. And then she was like, oh, well, I'm gonna call people to help you out because you're dead now. And she's really talking to him this way. But then she doesn't even care how she says it. She's like, yeah, one of these pimps. Yo, I can't do these type of accents. I can't do these accents. I'm from the Midwest. I don't do this. But she's like, yeah, one of these pimps dead up here. Come get somebody to take care of him. Okay, girl. Dang, this movie distracted me from doing this right. So yeah, so in other words, ain't no one really caring about Big Daddy. It's just like, oh yeah, he's dead. No one really cares. No one really cares. So then next scene, boom, we got a whole bunch of stereotypes coming through. Okay, so we're introduced to the rest of the women on the lots, the rest of the lizard lots. So we have Sugar, we have Angie, we have Jade, Mimi, and Storm. Yeah, y'all, I did my homework, okay? And so we're introduced to them. And, like, it's just, it's so annoying because, well, I mean, it's, okay. So I guess it's not annoying because it's really showing, like, the life of women of this. Like, this is literally their life. Like, this probably legitimately is their lifestyle. But I don't know. It was just a little extra. So pretty much all these women are, it's very hard to understand because the accents, I think like the accents and then like the ghetto dialect is just so deep. It's kind of hard to understand, but you know, we proceed. So it's very apparent that Angie is kind of like the head lady of them all. And so she's pretty much saying like, hey, we all need to have our game on right. Y'all need to be out here getting this money with y'all vaginas. Don't forget what you guys are here for this money. So during this scene, it's apparent that Angie and Sugar have issues. Angie is tired of, she feels like Sugar is always slacking, not doing what she needs to do. And Sugar pretty much feels like Angie always has something to say. She always has something to correct all the time. So that's apparent. And that's going to kind of be plaguing the relationship throughout the whole movie. You guys don't follow this. I don't know. I kind of messed up. I'm getting so distracted by this movie, but I feel like it's working. It's working. And there's like literally no transition. Oh! Sorry. There's literally no transition. It's like we're shown, okay, they're in the hotel room. It's obvious Angie and Sugar don't get along, and then we're just on the streets. Like, that quick. And the lighting is so off, and then you can hear everything in this movie. I mean, you can hear everything. And then all of a sudden, you know, there comes these ghetto business boys looking real skinny, looking like they need to be in school. They roll up and they're like, oh yeah, Angie, you know, we got the pack for you. We got everything you need. We got computers, we got phones, and we got guns. And I'm like, dang, you guys are like a pawn shop and y'all book bags. Pretty much what's going on. And Angie's like, no, like, get you guys out. Y'all are weak. Get out of here. Leave me alone. In the most ghettoest way, Storm is pretty much complaining to Angie, like, you know, I'm just really drained of all these men. All they want to do is talk about their wives cheating on them. They're not getting no sex at home. And she's like, I believe what they be saying, but I feel like an idiot because all I do is believe what they have to say. And Angie, she like really belittles them, how she talks to them. But she's like, oh, well, you know, you're a dumb bee if you believe what they have to say to you. So that's pretty much what she's saying. So then all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes this car. And the music from the car is man, the nose is red. Yo, I'm getting so distracted. She gets so, okay, how can I say this? The music in the car is so overwhelming that it takes over the whole scene. So Storm goes to this car and literally, like, you can't understand what they're saying. It turns out the person in the car is one of the lot lizard's ex-husbands. Her name is Jade. And out, like, okay, so we see Storm, she's doing her thing. And then out of nowhere, like, worst Zoom camera face you can ever get, Jade's like, yeah, and I'm gonna try my hardest to act as bad as they just did. This is how Jade was. She was like, yeah, my husband, you know, he tried to beat me. And the only way he knew how to beat me was over the kitchen counter one day. And he just snapped. And ever since he's been beating me, and he can't know I'm out here because he's gonna take my kids away from me. No, because we have a court case. You trying to make me lose my child, go to jail? He ain't that bad. And that's not me making fun of domestic violence. I'm just like, Y'all, this type of serious topic, really? This what you guys have delivered to us? This bad. So then Suge is like, oh no, best believe we gonna get him. You tell me he hitting you? No, we ain't doing none of that here. We gonna bust his cap. And then Jay just runs. She runs in these high boots, this crop top, really uncomfortable tight skirt, and she just runs. And Sugar's like, where is she going? And she just leaves. So Angie, was talking all that mess to Storm, like, you can't be getting your heart strung by these guys. They be lying to you. All they is a trick. Don't you forget that. And then Angie over here, heartstrung with one of the guys that Lily belongs on the next Cloud Chase rapper. What is SoundCloud? Okay, I got it right. SoundCloud rapper. He looked like he about to drop his next stream, and he wants all his homies to listen to him. And that's what Angie's dealing with. So she is pretty much a hypocrite. Suga is introduced to this pimp named Red. And this pimp looking like he belonged in church too, just like Big Daddy. I mean, that's just what they all look like. So we're introduced to Red, and he's like, hey, I have a business opportunity for you. I'm really thinking about, pretty much like, hey, I want to be your PIMP. So she's like, no, like, okay, let me think about it. And they have really good intimacy, I guess, or sex. It's, I guess, not intimacy. And she's like pretty much just like starstruck by what he did to her. I grew up in youth group. You remember like the corny videos they would have about like announcing youth camp was coming up? It's kind of getting like that awkwardness. So Red is like, he's on the phone with this new black guy that we were just getting thrown into our atmosphere of thinking. And Red is like, oh, Taz is the guy he's on the phone with. He's like, oh, Taz, like, are you out of jail yet? They've been having you in jail forever. Well, obviously, Red, if you're on the phone with him and you're calling from a cell phone, and then how he has a cell phone, the cell phone's like, okay, this is a cell phone, it's like right here. Like, how are you hearing anything? One thing this movie does is phone conversations. It's just so annoying.
To give me a slice of the pie.
So, like, in normal TV shows, you can usually hear, like, let's say if I'm talking to you on the cell phone. Usually in movies, you can hear what the other person is saying on the phone in one scene, right? Like, they don't change scenes usually. They might if they want to show reactions, but they usually don't. This movie doesn't do that. No. So it's like a pause. So let's say if I'm Red and I'm like, yeah, are you out of jail yet? What's going on? Pause. Yeah, I'm out of jail, Red. What's up? Pause. Well, I was wondering what you were. It's just the same thing. So it's very apparent that Taz and Red are both PIMPs. And pretty much Red is like, oh, I have this new girl that I think you're gonna like. I pretty much gave her some good sex and I'm in her mind. So if you want her to work for you to make money, let me know. And it turns out that Taz is broke, like I guess anyone would be out of jail. Well, I mean, not everyone, but his situation, like he just, no work ethic, okay? So he's like, yeah, like I need a couple girls to get me off my feet. Like, who do you have? So he's like, I got this new girl named Sugar. I got her mind. You let me know. And so pretty much what Red explains is, so at one of the lots on the other side of town, the security guards got really tight. So it began to scare a lot of girls away. So a lot of the girls moved to the east side of Memphis, let's just say. And this is where the pimp called Slim is pretty much where he had his girls, on the east side of town. So all the truckers came to the east side. And Taz is like, okay, great, because now I'm on the east side of Memphis and I can just use these girls. So they were like, okay, let's make a deal. Red and Taz, like, okay, let's make a deal so we can now, we can pretty much own these girls and we can take them away from Slim because Slim owes Taz money. Okay, so of course we're brought back to this funky hotel room again. And Storm and Mimi are partaking in a, I don't know, the nettoyage. What do you call it when you have a threesome? I don't know the word. But they're having three people are engaged in each other's company. And pretty much what they do is they blindfold this man and they take everything from him. Which is crazy to me. Which I know is a real thing that like people in the service do. Like, they'll drug somebody, they'll blindfold them, and then they'll just take everything they own. So anyway, so they did that. And it, like, okay, and the thing is about this movie, like, this is where all the sexual things happen, but it's used as, like, sex is used as a huge transition and filter for this movie. So it's just sex, then a very harsh scene, sex, and then an awkward scene. It's just sex and an emotional scene. It's like sex is like the transition of the movie. And then all of a sudden, because the man we were introduced to in the beginning of the movie, who approached the girls when they were on their corner, was Jade's husband. And he's stumping the yard, literally stumping the yard. And he's like, Jade, are you in there? Come outside, come outside. And we never really see she comes outside. Like, the scene just ends and we're somewhere else. And this movie, it never completes a scene. They're just like, yeah, you know, we're just kind of like figure it out. Like, we want to really do this scene. We'll just like maybe add it in there. But like, if it doesn't get complete, we'll let people's imagination just run wild. That's pretty much what I think they did. So there's just we don't know what happened with that. You know, we can't forget about good old Angie. She has this scene where her wig comes off. And she's just sitting there in the dark, really stressing the fact that she killed Big Daddy, which I don't get. You know, I don't blame her. I'll be stressed too if I kill somebody. My wig will be off and everything. So that Sugar is kind of getting brainwashed by her pimp Red, and she's kind of getting over Angie and all that Angie does. So she pretty much confronts her, and they have a confrontation. They have a confrontation on the street. It's like audio is just all over the place. Shadows are being casted so that the lighting's just off because you can see everyone's shadow. And she pulls out a gun on Sugar, like, I don't know. She pulls a gun on her. And she's just fed up, but the whole time you can tell she's really feeling eaten up from what she did. So, you know, if someone put a gun on my head, I'm being quiet. But Sugar took upon herself, and she just kept talking. And then she gave her the F finger, you know, and then, you know, she gave her the middle finger, and then she pulled the gun on Mimi, and Mimi's like, can you relax? Can you please stop? Like, you're showing out for no reason. You're showing out. So then Red gets in Sugar's head and is like, why are you still working for that woman? She does nothing for you, for your interests. You know, hey, like, I love you. I'm here for you. Let, you know, work for me. And she's like, okay, like, you know, I'll think about it. So then we're introduced to Raz's lifestyle as a PIMP. I mean, it's no different than Red. It's all trash. So Red brings Sugar over to introduce her to Taz, and pretty much just sells her. And now she is Taz's property, which really was sad to me. That really bothered me, because I think for people who don't have that lifestyle, we don't realize like the privilege of like not being owned by anyone. And I don't know, that really like just kind of like, even though it's corny and it was done so bad, it like really bothered me. But now she is Taz's property, and Taz is disgusting. I mean, they're all gross, but Taz just likes to be very forceful with his hands. And okay, so now Sugar is owned by Taz. He pretty much like has her at gunpoint, like, you're not going nowhere. And then out of nowhere, we have this white woman who is just like in shock that like Taz is like beating Sugar. But then she's like, oh, so you're the new hoe? No, you're not. Taz is my man, so keep your hands to yourself. Like, girl, ain't nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. So, yeah, you know, Snow Bunny on the rescue. Okay. I love y'all, okay? Now, Sugar is working the corner for Taz, but it's not like a corner how it was that we were shown. You know, like, you could tell it's probably like in a truck stop on a graffiti wall. Like, this is, like, Taz's corner, like, it's like, no. Taz's corner is in a residential area. Like, decent houses are around him. And he's slapping them, making money off of them. It's just like, would it really be happening this in the open, in this kind of neighborhood? I think not. I'm just so curious how they really were able to do that. Like, oh, hey, can we like use this cul-de-sac for like our movie, our corny, cheesy movie where we're gonna be beating women and they're gonna be prostitutes? Like, do you guys mind if we like use this area? So during all this time, there's a new lizard lot coming on the scene from Angie's crew. Man, y'all almost inhaled this body paint. And her name is Candy. Yeah, Candy was pretty. And the butt of a husband, Jade's ex-husband, he is trying to persuade Candy pretty much to get with him. She's giving him the cookie and, you know, he's loving it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, they're at his house and it's literally looking like those cheap entertainment locations. Like, it's giving me very like low budget. It's giving me like, you know, this is a youth center, but like not really. Like, we don't know what we're doing, but people make music in the back rooms. That's kind of what it's giving me. So they're at his house and he's like, I want to marry you. And she's like, dude, like, no, like, I know what I am. Like, you're not gonna marry, like, I don't want that. And he just snaps. Hold on, y'all. Okay, is that light better? The sun's coming down. And she's like, dude, no. Like, this is what I do. Like, stop trying to make me something I'm not. And he just gets in this rage and starts to, like, hit her and kills her. So now the whole crew is looking for Candy. And they call Angie, Mimi, and Storm. And they're like, dude, like, we don't know what's going on. We think that Candy's in trouble. Y'all, I'm dropping everything. We think Candy's in trouble. We think that she is with Little D, which is the abusive husband. And she's like, oh dang, like, I'm on my way. So she tries to persuade, she comes over to Little D's house, she tries to seduce him, and she pretty much gets him by the rope, I think with a belt. And then the other girls come out of nowhere and they pretty much have him to throw, where is she? Then somehow they fall into like this hole and she's in a freezer that's like not frozen but widely open. And then they just shoot him, they kill him, and he's gone. Dead. Just dead. No one really cares when men die in this movie, I'm telling you. So he's dead, and then all of a sudden, they somehow get back to the flow of business, and Angie's like, okay, everyone get over this trauma. Don't worry about it. I know we saw a whole bunch of men die. I know that, you know, we're over here increasing Black Death, but, you know, just don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Let's go get this money. Let's go flip these tricks. And that's what they did. And they're making like bank. Now they're making money. And they're counting $100 bills outside in the open. And like predicted, they get robbed from. Like, shocker. And so he's just like, yeah, y'all don't mess with me, because y'all mess with me, y'all gonna meet this pistol. And he like runs, but we don't even know where. So he like runs, and then we're shown to the next scene where he's running towards a woman near a building. So I guess he didn't get in the car. I don't know what happened, but as he was shouting and running away, he's like, yeah, you guys don't got no protection. You ain't got no pimp. I've been watching y'all. Y'all ain't got nobody. So, okay. And he comes to this girl. This girl's name is Lexius, like Lexi. And he's like, oh yeah, like, look what I told you. I got this money. I promise you I'm going to take you somewhere nice. We're going to be going out on trips. We're going to be vacationing. Like, don't you worry. And she's like, okay, but like, who'd you get this money from? Like, you can't be coming over to me like we got all this money and you're not going to tell you got it from. And he's like, oh. And he's like, don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. You know, it's okay. I'll take care of you. And yup, like predicted, the lot lizards, they come jack the money. They kill him. Yeah, because increasing Black Death is just awesome. And then they take Lexus with them. And then she kind of becomes in debt with them, like for a day. And then that's it for her with them. And then all of a sudden, it's like a very choppy scene. And the days aren't matching, like the sun isn't matching. It's like it's just not matching. So now we're showing Lexus, and Lexus is walking. You know, she got a 30-inch weave. She got this blue fur coat on, and Taz meets her, and he's like, "Oh, now where you going with your fine self?" who's taking care of you? I can double your salary if you let me. And she's looking at him like, I don't even know, like, I don't know you. Who are you? And he's like, let me show you. So, you know, they seal their deal with sex. And after they're done with sex, she's like, and he gives her money. And he's like, no, this is what happened. Like, during sex, I guess he gave her $300. And she said, she keeps saying, oh, stop, I'm gonna be late for work. Stop trying to have sex with me, I'm gonna be late. And then during sex, she's like, oh my, you gave me $300. I didn't get that amount of money in a week. Girl, where are you working at? Where are you working at? They're not giving you that much money in a week. You don't get $300 a week. Where are you working? Where are you gonna weave that length if you're not working? At least making $600 every 2 weeks. But anyway, I digress. So they sealed their partnership through sex. So he's like, okay, all you need to do is make this money is you need to do what you just did for me for other lonely truckers. That's all you need to do. Like, you know, just, you know, use that Kit Kat and stretch it out as far as you can go. And, you know, whenever you're not in the mood, some guy's going to be in the mood, so you got to be ready. And she's like, okay, well, if I don't like this, she said, if I don't like it, Taz, I don't got to keep doing it, though. Like, this is how bad the acting is, you guys. I kill that, yes. And he's like, okay, but, like, you're going to be doing it, though. Like, you're going to do it. So then he goes to sleep, she heads to work, but he does this thing. As he's falling asleep, he's like, yeah, let me rack up these women so I can pay off my debt. Like, he announces it to nobody to pay off this debt. Anyway, so, you know, Lexi, you know, she gets right to work, and she's at the truck stop, and, ooh, shocker, she's having sex with the trucker that looks like he's gonna be the next SoundCloud rapper. And he's like, oh, no, Angie, Lexi don't mean nothing to me. What's wrong? Don't worry. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Please stay. And she's like, no, like, I'm tired of you. You know, like, as if he's gonna be loyal to her. Like, he's a truck stop driver. You're the prostitute. Like, there's no loyalty in this relationship. Like, there's just none. So I don't know why she was surprised. But anyway, so he's like, okay, Lexi, get out of my car. Like, I need to get Angie back. Whatever. And Storm is like, hey, Angie, like, what's wrong with you? You've been acting really off. And then Mimi asks the same question over. They just keep going around in circles. And then she finally confesses that she killed Big Daddy. And at first, we don't have a clue. Now, this whole time, everyone's talking about the pimp Slim. No one knows where Slim is at. You know, we really don't have a face to the name because everyone else in this movie got a face. So, like, we're never given a face for him until now. And now it's finally revealed the big secret that Angie killed Slim. That was the man in the beginning of the movie that was trying to pretty much choke her out to stay pleasured. So, as Angie's confessing this to the girls, she's like, but I need to get revenge on CJ. And CJ is the SoundCloud rapper. And they're like, okay, like, how are we gonna get revenge on him? Like, what did he do? She explains, you know, he slept with Lexi. He's supposed to be committed to me, and I believed him. And like, okay, for sure, let's get revenge. And it turns out that Storm knows the wife from high school, CJ's wife. And she's like, okay, don't you worry about it. We're gonna get revenge on him. We're pretty much gonna ruin his whole life at home. But Angie, hey, I won't have you involved in it. I won't call you out on it. Like, I won't get you tangled up in it. It's acting in the movie. I'm not gonna hold you. Because it actually sold me for, like, being a real argument. Cause the wife here actually had good acting. Cause she was like, dude, like, what about our kids? Like, what about our children? How can you do this to me? Like, you're my husband. And he's, you know, here he comes. Oh, well, Angie don't mean nothing to me. That girl Lexi don't mean nothing to me. And the wife's was like, no, like, dude, you gotta go. Like, this is like, no wonder things are awkward at home. Things aren't working in the bedroom. Like, you need to just leave. And, you know, he's just like, you know, I have needs. You don't ever have sex with me. Which, okay, I can understand. Like, yeah, you gotta communicate that with, if you're a guy who needs sex, like, you really need it. Yeah, communicate that with your wife. But that was just like his only excuse. Like, I just had
needs. I don't know what to tell you.
And she was like, okay, well, I know what to tell you. Go. Leave. Take your stuff, pack it, go home. You can sleep in your truck until you figure yourself out. I look kind of creepy, but good at the same time. It's okay. I love Joker. I have like a little crush on him, but we're not gonna talk about that because it's gonna bring up some trauma issues. But anyway, now CJ is caught. CJ is pretty much like, F Angie, I'm over her. They meet up. Angie and CJ, you know, they argue. You ruined my life. You know, Angie's like, oh, you lied to me about kids. You promised me all these things. La la la. He gets kicked in the balls. You know, predictable. And he just complains about his penis hurting. So then, we're introduced to, when I let me introduce, like, we're introduced to so many we're introduced to, like, different storylines, but, like, not a good back reason to anything. Like, you're just kind of shown someone, and they're either twerking on each other, someone's arguing, it's just, like, you're just shown, boom, you're supposed to get what's going on. So, we're now somehow Storm has walked, because no one got a car, everyone's just walking everywhere, and she says hi to her mom, and her mom at first is nice, like, okay, like, you know, this is her telling her mom, like, oh, hey mom, I miss you, like, you know, we haven't seen each other in a couple of days, like, I love you, just want to check on you, see how you're doing, and the mom's like, oh, like, I'm about to get ready for work, and it's all good, and then all of a sudden, the mom flips out, and she's like, you have an audacity being here with what you did. And she's like, what I did? And she was like, yeah, you know what you did. And then Storm explains that, like, it's not my fault that your boyfriend wanted, what's the word I can say for this? Wanted me to brain feed him. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Slurpium. And the mom does not believe Storm. Like, she's like, no, like, he wouldn't do that. You're lying. And she's like, no, I'm not. And the mom is like, oh, well, like, I don't want your dirty money. Like, why would you want me to be here if I know what you're doing? Because you're a lot lizard. And all my girlfriends that come over, they're always telling me about the work that you're doing. And, like, you're sleeping with a whole bunch of men. Like, why would I have anything nice to say to you? Why would I ever want you around? And the mom is pretty much like, that same story you keep telling about my boyfriend, it's getting old, get over it, nothing happened. And Storm was like, well, if you would have believed me, or if your boyfriend never asked of that of me, maybe I wouldn't be a lot lizard. This is why this movie makes me upset. Because it touches on deep subjects that were handled differently with a better movie and better directing. It would have been a good movie. A very deep movie. Because that's something that is done in black families. It is so sad. Women, they would not believe their child when a man comes around that provides for the family, like treats the mom good. They would sacrifice a child for the sake of the lifestyle or them not having to work. That was true facts right there. That's a real thing. And a lot of black women end up finding comfort in the streets. That is real. And that's why I wish, dang it could have been done. Anyway, so that's Storm's story. But then Red comes out the same funky hotel room, and Storm's mom asked him, oh, how was your stay? Were you here for pleasure or business? And Red is like, oh, well, definitely pleasure. And then the mom is like, oh, well, if you want me to cover you, my card is in your jacket. And she tells him, be careful because I found a pimp in that same hotel room not too long ago. And he's like, oh, well, interesting. Do you mind telling me the pimp's name? And she's like, well, his name was Slimmy or Slim, something like that. And then Red's like, oh, well, thank you, ma'am, for that information. So I'm like, how are you going to be mad at your daughter for the work she does when you are doing your job to keep this type of business going where your daughter is still getting money from this type of lifestyle? I understand that. Like, that was real hypocritical. Real hypocritical. So, obviously, with everything that happened with CJ and Lexi and Angie wants revenge. So, Angie goes after Lexi. We're not really shown how. All of a sudden, Lexi's beating up Taz, acting like he really cares. Like, he's such a cautious and caring, loving pimp. Because you really can't be that in the same sentence. And he's like, oh, who did this to you? Sorry, y'all. He's like, oh, who did this to you? And she's like, Angie did this to me. Much shut up Angie. And how they do it is they beat up Sugar. They have Sugar try to call Angie. So it's kind of like almost like a ransom. Then Angie goes saves, and they snatch her up by gunpoint, and they put in a car. Now she's tied up in his wannabe PIMP house, whatever he has going on, and pretty much he has her tied up. And then so he's all mad. Not all her girls are looking for her. Where's Angie at? It's taking way too long for anyone to fight Angie. Way too long. No one's communicating with each other. So then Lexi is not doing her job according to Taz. She's not doing what she needs to do. She's taking way too long. Like, she's not making money she needs to. So he snatches, and he's had enough. So he pretty much ties her up with Angie. So now they're tied up together. Then she's like, Angie, untie me, let me go. Angie does it. Lexi runs away for 5 seconds. Is like, girl, I gotta go. And then she comes back. She's like, girl, I don't like you, but you and me both need to get out of here. I'm like, why didn't you just stay? Why did you just stay and help her out? Like, why the antics? Why the antics? When Angie got tied up by Taz, she, like the movie likes to do, it over-explains in a very awkward way. And she's like, I would not have been here in the streets. I would have been on the road to being a nurse, but you're the one that got me involved with drugs. And you're the one that got me here and made me run away from home. And he's bragging about being her first. Ew. He goes take a shower in this funky shower. It just bothered me. It was too dirty. Mimi finds herself at Taz's house while Taz is taking a good old shower. He hears someone. He shoots her in the knee. And she falls out like, oh, you shot me in the knee. Why'd you do that? Shot me in the knee. See, no. I will be dramatic. Oh, no. Then Sugar comes in. Then Storm comes in. They're all trying to fight against Taz. But obviously Taz has the upper hand because he has the gun. And then Angie is like, oh, I need to go find my girls. But she's not being quick enough. And then she finally shoots Taz. And she says this over his body. Pretty much, I am the queen of lot lizards. You will never own me. And then it's piano music. And some reason we're supposed to feel bad that Taz is on the ground, which I felt no ways. And the movie just ends like that abruptly. Very awkward. Now, where do we conclude here? Hope you guys liked the look. This movie was trash. Hold on, you guys. I forgot my eyebrow. Hey, you guys. So what are our thoughts on this movie? Like, how are we finishing reviewing this movie? Okay, what upsets me so much about this movie is topics that discuss the development of Black women, human car bumper to car bumper. Can't say certain words on YouTube. And prostitution and just the lifestyle, what that is. Situations that can go on in a lot of Black homes. It gave me a lot of like things that I could understand, but did not dive into it well. It was not delivered well. It was so, just because how bad the movie was, you got distracted by some of the topics that were trying to be talked about. You get what I'm trying to say? The bad lighting, the angles, scenes just not being completed. This movie was just trash. So what a waste of time. What a waste of time. I could have been doing homework. But it's okay, I got my homework done for this video. So thank you so much, you guys, for clocking in with your girl Lo on this Cause, Flick, and Sip. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you guys next time. And thank you for clocking in with me, your girl Lo. Bye.